Hey, Joe.
Hey, Keith, how's it going?
Good. I'm glad you can hear me. I was trying something new and it worked. Who knew? So, we're on QBC Eve, and I figured try to work out any other kinks I have tonight. You're so kind as to join me yet again. You're gonna be
Anytime.
stuck with me. You're gonna be stuck again with me tomorrow doing the artist panel.
Now, what is this QBC you speak of?
Well, the QBC is the Queen's Baseball Convention that me, Shannon from Mets Police, and Darren Meenan originally came up with as an alternative to the fact that the Mets didn't have a fan fest. So we tried to bluff the Mets into doing a fan fest, and they didn't fall for the bluff, and they ended up not doing it until we proved the concept. So with Darren, he got us so far. He helped design the logo. He actually didn't help design the logo. He designed the logo, and we've had his support ever since. But he had to drop out. That was right when he was getting the Major League Baseball license, so he didn't want anything to cross hairs and screw him up at all. So then Dan Tuick stepped up, and a couple of years later, my cousin Shannon decided he didn't want to do this anymore. He dropped out. I became the face of the QBC then, and Dan moved up into being half partners. Partners. We're 50-50 now instead of being 33, 33, and 33.
Nice.
So the whole concept was that we wanted to do a fan fest that we as fans would want to see. And the fan fests that teams do are great, but they're so big that they kind of lose the fact that you can hang out with everybody, and it's more intimate. Like the last QBC we had at the second to last QBC we had at Catch, we had Nimmo, Flexen, Hunley, and Zeal. Was Zeal? Yeah. I think Zeal was there. I can't remember. They all blend together. But basically, Flexen and Nimmo were walking around and having a great time, seeing with the fans, interacting with fans, taking pictures, just hanging out. If Chris didn't have to fly out, he would have stayed like the whole time. Nimmo came later, but he hung out afterwards, had dinner at Catch, hung out with us for a little bit. And then Todd Hunley was hanging out. He was just having a blast. It was like one of the first times he was back with New York Mets fans, because for a while he was like persona non grata for some reason with the Mets. Like a lot of the former ball players are. So, we started at McFadden's. Had the first year was Ed Kranepool and Ron Darling and a whole bunch of other panels. And we didn't even know if it was going to work. Lucky between me and my cousin had a lot of production knowledge like I do, but he did more of the technical production knowledge, like with dealing with the audio and making sure all that stuff was set up right. And with me was just putting together how everything was with the day and setting up the panels themselves and producing that and timing it and doing all that stuff while running around setting up the set. And the vendors were taken care of by Dan. He was watching them. So it was, a team effort. We all kicked ass, but it was so awesome that we were able to pull it off and people really enjoyed it. They were like, all right, I guess we're going to have to do it again. So then we did it the next year. The next year was Wally Backman and Mookie Wilson, which were great guys. And we also created this award called the Gil Hodges Unforgettable Fire Award. The first year we gave it to Gil Hodges, presented it to his son, and that was the first year Art Shamsky showed up too. So we got the blessing by the family. Greg Prince helped us create that from Fear and Flushing, and it felt like a real thing. And it was great seeing other fans having us create something that they enjoyed, and it was awesome. I keep saying awesome, but it was awesome. The second year, we were able to give the award to Ed Charles. Yeah, Ed Charles. And he was like really touched. He had like the whole room in tears because he was so touched and asking, just telling stories, and the fact that he felt like people forgot about him, and having him at the QBC, he felt like, people didn't forget about him, and he was happy with that. Let's see. I got to move this over. Checking out comments. Could have picked a prettier face.
The better looking Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could jump on. Come on.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to throw an invite over to him.
We could talk Star Wars. He's learning.
Don't get him started, please. Please don't get him started. DeMayo, I sent you over an invite if you wanted to jump on. Yeah, so it kept growing, and then the next year we were moving out of McFadden's. We were going to go over to O'Neill's in Maspeth, and we were all set to have that ready to go. But then we had that big snowstorm where we had to cancel like almost a week and a half, and it just crushed us because we were going to have Tim Tuffle, Bobby Valentine. Who else were we going to have?
I think that's the one I was going to go to.
So it was your fault that we got snowed out because you were going to go to that one.
Yeah, there were two things. I think it was that one, the QBC, and also I think there was a Francesa Con during a blizzard.
Yeah.
I never went to one of those, and then I got a ticket and I was going to go, and then it was a mess also. I don't know if they still had it, but I was like, weather's too crazy.
Yeah, it just wouldn't have worked out for us, and I don't want to put anybody at risk coming to the QBC. So we canceled it, and then we brought it to the next year.
Yeah.
Next year we went to Catch for the first time, and Catch, the first year we went, was different owners than the last 2 years we had. But the newer owners, which I became friends with, they heard about how much of a great time that the QBC was, that they wanted to bring us back, and there was a lot of QBC Mets fan 7-line people that went to Catch and hung out in Astoria, and they hooked us up with the new owners. We became friends with them, and then we had a couple more fun years at Catch. So basically, the QBC is for all of us to have fun, be Mets fans, be a proof of concept to the Mets for them to do their own Mets Fan Fest, because to show them that Mets fans actually wanted a Fan Fest after so many years of them saying, no, Mets fans don't want that. Why would we do that? So does that answer your question, Joe?
Yes.
So the other thing is, I know I've been saying for days and days, if we got to 250 subscribers, that we were going to give away something cool as a cool prize. I'm going to go over and check to see how many subscribers we have right now. What the? Why are you messing with me? Joe, this is all your fault.
I didn't do anything.
All your fault, Joe.
It's not
the mail was right about you.
What? That Star Wars is great?
It's so great to have friends that like Star Wars, other friends that like wrestling. And
you like both, or you only like wrestling?
Big Star Wars fan.
Just making sure.
Big Star Wars fan. I just sold a whole bunch of Black Series figures.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's like I love collecting them, but at the same time, I don't have room for everything anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
My basement's filled with stuff. Oh.
Is it really? We're gonna have to start doing that stuff.
Come by. We'll get a store going.
All right, so we have 279 subscribers. And what we're giving away is the real hair Noah Syndergaard bobblehead. Now, if you go on eBay, it's gone for prices up to $155. Hey, look who we got. It's Joe DeMeo.
What's up?
Hey,
What's going on?
what's up, Joe?
Nothing. Just chilling. Just finished playing Yahtzee. And
Who won?
me, of course. I got a Mets Yahtzee for Christmas, so we played that where the Mets are on the dice and you roll. It's like a little Mets baseball is the cup, but whatever. I did it. I had to get past the Trevor Bauer stuff. I had to do something.
I was going to say, we haven't really talked about baseball yet. We were just talking about QBC stuff. But, since you're on and you actually know a lot more than we do, how pissed were you today?
Not at all, really. I was thoroughly entertained throughout the day. I'll say that. I think if you couldn't find basically everything he did with the website hilarious, then get a sense of humor. Give me a break. Like, I thought it was funny. I've been pretty open on my podcast and on Twitter. I never wanted the Mets to sign Trevor Bauer. I understood the upside he had, but certainly recognized off the field things, on the field questions. And I looked at some projections for this year, and they're projecting like two of the biggest ones. There's Steamer and then there's Zips. Those are kind of the two big projection sites. And one projected him for like a 3.67 ERA, and then the other one projected him for like a 4.08 ERA. Can you imagine if the Mets gave Trevor Bauer $40 million this year to post an ERA over 4? People would lose their shit.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted them to sign him just so that Twitter would burn down.
Oh, it would have. Yeah.
I would have loved that.
Yeah. I mean, I understood like the upside, and I would trust the Mets in the process and assume that they were making the right decision. So if they signed him, I wouldn't have lost my mind. But, if I were in charge, I honestly wouldn't have offered what the Mets offered. But they were again aggressive. They tried, and he chose the Dodgers over the Mets.
The only cool thing I could have saw was if he did sign and he opted out, had a good season, and then he opted out at the end of the season.
Yeah. And ultimately, I think the Mets set up the way the Mets were setting up the contract made it so he wouldn't opt out after 1 year, basically, or at least less likely he would. Whereas the Dodgers structured the contract where it's like, all right, we're basically agreeing it's a 2-year deal, because the Dodgers did 3 years, 102, and it's 40 this year, 45 in year 2, and then 17 left for year 3. So you're basically verifying he's going to opt out after 2, and you still get the AAV of whatever 102 what's that, 34, I think? Yeah, 34. So you get an AAV of 34 on your luxury tax. You pay him 40, then 45, and then he bounces, basically.
So we might do this again in 2 years?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he'll post a 4 ERA for the Dodgers in 2 years, and people will get off his stuff.
Yeah, so now actually the Mets can use that $40 million to fill in the holes that they were talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know. Honestly, I doubt they'll spend the $40 million. I don't think they'll spend all that money, to be totally honest. I think they were looking at Bauer as like a luxury and a reason to, jump over the tax and deal with everything that comes with that. I don't think they're going to be, I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to be looking to exceed the luxury tax with a bunch of depth guys. I think they'll, pick which spots they want to fill most and just fill them the best they could with depending on where you look, let's call it between 29 and 33 million that they have under a tax. Depends where you look, something like that.
Hi, Chief Sousa. So I don't think that they're going to spend $40 million on putting spots to fill spots on the field, but at least now they have money that
right.
They can go, hey, you know what? We might trade for a third baseman,
Yep.
We could be fine. We could trade for a center fielder, pay for a center fielder. Now they have options.
Yep.
So it's good. They
have options. They have more flexibility. You have to look ahead to extending Francisco Lindor. You have to look ahead to extending Michael Conforto. If Noah Syndergaard comes back and looks good, you'll probably want to extend him too. So what it comes down to is it's just a pie of money, and you just have to spread it around. You can't just have a bunch of high paid guys and then kind of crappy depth behind them. So you have to balance it a little bit, but keeping your own should be more important than paying people to come in from the outside. I think that's how you're going to set a good message going forward to players that come through a system like Alonso, like McNeil, and then, anyone behind those guys, where it's like, if you come through our system, you perform, all that stuff, we will reward you. You won't have to go to Seattle to get rewarded or wherever else that you would think.
Yeah, exactly. And, everybody's worried about Conforto. Everybody's worried about Lindor. They got to offer them money. They got to try to extend them. So everything works out for a reason. And it's not like the same old, hey, the Mets are cheap about it or whatever. They tried 3 times to pay somebody over $100 million, and 3 times it didn't work. So screw them.
Yeah, you can't say they didn't try. That's for sure. You can't say that they didn't try. I mean, Springer, in retrospect, I wish they were more aggressive on Springer. He was the guy I wanted kind of all along, and it seems like they probably could have done something there. I mean, they offered Springer $20 million a year. Obviously, the length was significantly different, so that drastically alters the value of a contract. But they went to 20 per year for Springer. He signed for 25, and I personally would have probably gone to 25 and seen if he would have taken the Mets money. And they were willing to go to 40 for a year for Bauer, essentially. So a little interesting philosophy, but yeah, that's the only thing I would say is I wish that they went for Springer. The Real Muto thing, I think that whole situation worked out the way it should have for the Mets. Ultimately, they couldn't pass on McCann and risk being bent over a barrel by Real Muto, or even worse than that, if Real Muto wanted to go back to Philly, and then the Mets would have nothing at catcher. So they had to do what they had to do there. Springer I wanted, Bauer I didn't, but I understand he would have been a luxury.
Yeah, I mean, I still like the McCann signing, just for, everybody's going Real Muto. It's going to sound horrible, but you got enough hitting. You need somebody that can actually be a catcher.
Real Muto's a stud behind the plate. He's a top 2, like he is all around the stud. It's just, how long of the contract will he be? I mean, Real Muto's a top 2 defensive catcher in the game.
Yeah, but there's something I just don't. From watching him, there's just something I don't like about him that I can't put it in words. I just don't feel like, he's what he's been hyped to be.
Yeah.
I can be totally crazy, which I've been told I'm totally crazy at times. But
that's true, but maybe not in this case. But I could have told you that.
I get that a lot. Yeah.
So, Chief Sousa, that's Mets chick, and she says hi to the 2 Joes.
What's up?
Hey.
All right. And DeMeo, before you jumped on, I was talking to Joker about what we were giving away for hitting 250 subscribers.
What you got?
It's real hair, Noah Syndergaard bobblehead that you could only get if you were season ticket holder at Citi Field.
It has its real hair?
It doesn't have his real hair, but it has real hair. It's like doll hair.
Okay.
Todd Zeal signed card.
Nice.
It was signed at the QBC when he was there.
Awesome.
And then the Wayne Coffee, they said it couldn't be done book. Now, if you put it on a table, it's a coffee table book. Oh, yeah. I've been working on I actually did some prep with Joker before that. So, hey, you know what? I'll crack this open. I'm sure you guys probably have seen it before.
The bobblehead?
Yeah.
I never knew this existed.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe I just don't pay attention. But I had no idea. Did you, Joker?
No, I have this one.
So here's the front.
Okay.
With Noah's hair.
That's actually hilarious.
They cut it while he was sleeping.
It comes with COA with his hair. But actually, It's actually a pretty sought after bobblehead on eBay. They've gone for $155.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's a pretty sweet
so-
giveaway then.
Yeah, and I told people if they subscribed, it's going to be whoever the random winner is of this is going to have a really cool little prize pack.
I'm subscribed. You know,
I'm
And I don't-
subscribed.
And
Yeah.
I don't pay either of you guys, so I guess you could totally be involved into this
We
grab.
we don't get paid, and we were really close to not being allowed to win a raffle either. What the hell is this?
It's Dave Maggio's fault.
yeah, blame him.
Well, I have a lot of teaching to do.
So yeah, we got that. I'm gonna go look a little bit later for the random winner, if you will.
Sweet.
Um,
I'm excited for tomorrow. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
yeah, I had to work today where Dan got to talk to Joe McEwing and Matt Cerrone while they were testing the stuff, and I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get to actually do the test. I do all the other tests, but the one that I wanted to do, of course, I couldn't do.
That's funny, but that's cool. I'm excited to hear from Joe, and having Matt involved is cool. So I know he was involved at the other QBCs as well. So yeah, no. And then we got Stay of the Mets. We got baseball night in New York where Sal Licata blocked me.
Do you know why he blocked you?
I'm not quite sure. I certainly didn't say anything insulting to him. I think I disagreed with something he said, and he's just like, screw this kid. But Doug and Doug's one of my buddies, Jim Duquette, Andy, and yeah, no, I'm excited for everything.
So maybe Sal was mad at you. Did you outbid him on eBay for a wrestling figure?
I did not. I think Sal's a little more open onto what he'd spend on a figure than I am at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. It's just
We can get to the bottom of this tomorrow.
Yeah. Someone could ask him, I guess. But
Got to squash it.
yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Sal and I had beef years ago, and then we got past that on the air, and now apparently we have beef again. Who knew?
Nice.
So Joe, you know what you do is ask one of the questions in the chat. I'll bring it up.
So I'll ask in the chat, why did you block at PSL to Flushing?
Because he's an idiot. Okay.
Well, all right, fine. We won't argue. Yeah,
About Star Wars, that's it though. I mean, everything else he knows a lot more than me.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I'm learning.
Yeah, today you opened up that whole thing with hey, who's Luke Skywalker? I don't know what happened. All of a sudden,
I know Luke. I know who Chewbacca
Vader.
is.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda and regular Yoda, I assume. And then Anakin is Darth Vader, right?
Yes. I know you were getting yelled at, and everyone's like Joe in all caps, and I'm like, what? I'm not. Oh, the other Joe, not me. All right.
So I knew Darth Vader. I knew the Luke, I'm your father thing. I knew that.
Is that a giveaway?
There's Andre.
No, it's not a giveaway.
I deal with the real stuff like pro wrestling.
Like wrestling, but we have to. In the Mandalorian, there's a wrestler in the show.
Oh, Sasha Banks was on the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah. There you go. That's Mr. T and Roddy, right?
Yep.
Keith's got everything with the wrestling figures. It's awesome.
That's why Toys R Us went out of business. Your whole room right there.
No, if I was actually keeping Toys R Us in business for a while.
But their inventory is at your place now.
I think Keith and I text more about wrestling figures than we do anything else. Like we just send each other pictures of what we get and stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
I actually have prototypes.
Wow.
Did you know that, Joe?
What prototypes do you have?
From the Stomp Bloodline collection that never got produced. They produced it as the glow in the dark one. But I have the Undertaker with the chest plate.
Yep.
And Edge and Christian. And then I also have like a Ruthless Aggression X-Pack, all busts.
That's awesome. My buddy Mike that we went to Major One with, he's on a big kick of BCA prototypes. So he has a bunch of random pieces and then a couple full ones. I think he has a full Kurgan and a full D'Lo Brown. like random ones for full, and then he has like heads from the Undertaker, arms from this, legs from that. So he's kind of like slowly gonna piece together some things. I haven't gone far down the prototype rabbit hole yet, but I assume that's eventually gonna happen.
You could buy mine.
Of course, you just collect the things and get ready to get rid of them, and then you get rid of them in bulk.
Yeah, I get them. I'm like, all right, I'm just
You grab
tired of
and you're
it.
like, all right, out of space, tired of it, need new stuff. Just bang, drop everything on eBay.
When I was a kid, I had everything. I had the ring. I had all those guys. Their arms were stuck like this or like this. And yeah, and I used to watch a cartoon with a junkyard dog. I was all into it. And then I don't know, my dad threw everything away with the Star Wars figures, everything away. And I let go of wrestling and I stuck with Star Wars.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm sucked into the McFarlane collection right now with the DC Universe.
That's good stuff.
I'm stuck with that. I'm in Star Wars and of course wrestling with AEW and WWE.
Yeah.
I'm in the Funko, that's my.
I don't have many Funko Pops. I have a couple, but not many.
I love Funko. This is a company I'd work for.
Oh, yeah, they're cool. Yeah, and they get the licenses to freaking everything. Like, there's a pop of everything.
I know. There's one of you right now. You don't even know. It's out there somewhere. We have to find it.
I definitely wouldn't be surprised if there was one that looked like me out there.
It's got to be. Yeah. It's got to be one.
Wouldn't shock me.
Well, that's something I got signed. Actually, I had two things signed. One, I got Winona Ryder to sign a Funko for Trisha.
Yep.
Awesome. When I was working with her. And then the other one, when Darren and I had the softball tournament that we created to raise money for Tuesday's Children, when I was working on Gotham, I got a whole bunch of stuff signed, and I had Robin Lord Taylor sign a Funko Pop as the Penguin.
Wow. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, so the Funkos, they're cool because they have all that territory that you can ride on. Oh,
they're like prime for like getting autographed, 100%. There's so much space and anything. Like literally, if you go to any convention of any kind, if they bring anybody in there, there's a reasonable chance that they have a pop.
True. It's very true.
Doesn't matter what it is, movie, TV show, anything. It's crazy. It's crazy. I have a few wrestling ones, couple Mets ones, couple Dallas Cowboys ones. That's really it. I'm just grabbing people I like. Didn't really dive in deep.
Right now, I just have the Winona Ryder for the wife, and and two Mr. Mets. I got the one that was vaulted, and then I have the one in the pinstripes.
I have a lot of Star Wars, and I have the Joker, obviously, one of the Jokers.
Wait. Is that
that's the Joker no one likes? But I thought he did a good job.
No, he didn't. He was horrible. He was
different.
Which one?
No. That's the
Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Jack Nicholson's my favorite.
Yeah, that's like OG, really, right? Essentially, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah. Jack is. I mean, the '89 Batman is my favorite.
Yeah.
Of all. I mean, I don't know. I guess because I was a kid when I saw it and kind of stuck.
The sleeper Joker is the one from Gotham that played.
That's a great. Yeah, he was a great Joker too. I think they're all great. I mean, they had different takes on it.
I would have to say Nicholson, Mark Hamill.
I was going to say the animated I count as a different thing. Yeah, but Mark Hamill, some people put as number one.
Mark Hamill in Star Wars?
Yep. There you go.
He is learning.
He's like a Jedi.
It's like Macho learning to promote himself.
I'm a little further along than
Joe. Joe's going to teach me wrestling and Mets stats, and I'll teach him Star Wars.
Deal.
You have more to work, a lot more to teach me than I teach you.
And there's only what, like, was there 9, 10 Star Wars movies, something like that?
3, 6, 9. Yeah, the trilogy. And then there's some spin-offs too that.
Rogue One and Solo.
Yeah, Rogue One is one of the, I think, best movies that they put out since the Return of the Jedi, since the older stuff.
So I think back in the day I watched Return of the Jedi, I think. I think that's the only one I've ever seen, and I don't really have any much recollection of it, but I think I might have watched that one.
Yeah.
I'm so old. I went to the premiere as a kid.
I believe it.
Yeah, I saw that one in theater. Yeah. That's
awesome.
how old I am too.
What year did Return of the Jedi come out?
83.
83. Okay. So
Yeah.
I was negative 5 years old.
Well, I think that's why Star Wars like connects with certain people. You were born like in that middle area, where if you were born a little earlier, you probably would have liked it. It was something about like our generation was like, wow, this is so amazing.
Yeah.
Something different, new, and then after that, you kind of had these other movies that came out.
Yeah, and you got stuck with the prequels.
Yeah. And we did too, because we were so excited that like, oh my God, finally something's coming out besides Spaceballs. Spaceballs was timed pretty well too, because that was like, there was no Star Wars for a while, and then Mel Brooks puts out this comedy, which was great, and something.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends like Star Wars. I don't know if I just never really gave it the shot or whatever, or just never did it.
Do you like Star Trek?
No, don't watch that either.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes people like that.
Like, I don't want to lump it. It's not necessarily sci-fi per se, but I don't watch really much that type of stuff. Really, I mean, I feel like I just think in my brain that I only have so much room for stuff. When the reality is I have way more room. We just don't know our capabilities, and I just dive into sports essentially, and that's really about that. Sports entertainment.
No, that's good. I mean,
it's something, but no,
I'm more useless information. My brain, the 5% of it that works is all about.
To be fair, my sports knowledge is. You could argue how useful it is, but
it's pretty good.
Yeah, but you guys are the same way with your stuff, so it's just whatever you focus on. But eventually, I will watch the Star Wars movies, and then you have to watch them in order. I assume, like the MCU stuff, right? Like you watch them in a specific order.
You could, yeah. It helps to. I mean, you could even watch the original trilogy first if you want. Some people say don't do that. Do it in order, but doing it out of order is fine too.
And isn't that like when you do it out of order, that just makes it weird from like a viewing perspective, right? Because the CGI and everything got better, so you go here and then you go down on your way, kind of thing.
The prequel CGI is horrible.
Okay.
It is just horrible. Like the stuff
they try to throw more stuff in there. I think that's the problem.
Well, there was no way to it. What Lucas was trying to do, a little known fact about George Lucas, even though he loves the story, his whole thing about his companies was to make the next advance in filmmaking. So when he did the prequels, he wanted to see how much CGI he could get away with. And because it was so long ago, it was great that he did it, because it started proving that you could do it. But there was no weight to a lot of his stuff, and he didn't have enough practical sets. Now, like if you watch The Mandalorian, they use this whole LED light board, which is called the Void. And you can't tell the difference between it being a green screen or a location.
Okay.
So, like, it looks more realistic with The Mandalorian today than anything that the prequels did. But if you watch some of the original trilogy, when Lucas went back in and he tweaked some stuff, like it kind of took you out of the original trilogy because all the practical effects were better.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's cool though. I mean, I recognize how big Star Wars is, right? It's every bit as big as anything else I like, if not bigger. So
yeah, and I still can't believe that Sasha Banks is getting a Black Series action figure.
Is she really?
Yeah.
What wasn't it just like a one-time appearance or something?
She was on 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay.
She was big in the finale, and then I think she might have been in 2 other episodes. I don't know. She was definitely in 2 for the season, but it could have been 3.
Interesting. Well, good for her.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "Oh, she's going to be Bo-Katan." Oh no, who they say she was going to be? I'm trying to remember who they said she. Oh, they were saying she was going to be Sabine Wren. I was like, no, she can't act. She can't be Sabine Wren. Sabine Wren's going to be somebody that you're going to need a lot of acting chops for.
I don't know what that means. What is the Sabine Wren?
So on a great cartoon called Rebels, she was a Mandalorian warrior that every season she would change up her armor and her helmet. Like, she was an artist too, so she kept changing up everything. And towards the end, she ended up fighting over the Darksaber and becoming the Queen of Mandalore, but gave it up and all this stuff. But she's gonna end up playing a pivotal role with Ahsoka. So if you're gonna have somebody that's gonna be on another show with Ahsoka, you need somebody to actually connect.
Gotcha. Did they consider Asuka for the role of Ahsoka?
Oh. They did, but they didn't want all that yelling.
Whoa! Joker has. I don't think Joker knows what we're talking about.
No, I think I know that character.
Okay. Asuka's great.
What's funny is, look, I can hold these different conversations about Star Wars, about wrestling, about DC, about Marvel. You want filmmaking, I talk about that. You want Mets, I could talk about that.
Joe, you like Marvel though, right?
I do like Marvel. I've watched all of the MCU movies, so I've seen all of them. Some in theater, some not.
Did you watch WandaVision yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it's pretty
Watch
good.
it. Watch it.
It's I heard it's a slow build, but it ends up really good.
WandaVision, WandaVision.
Yeah, no, that's definitely on the list. And then, with Disney Plus, they're bringing a bunch of stuff.
And you know, Marvel works well with Citi Field. I mean, they made some cameos
and Yep. The Noah's Thor bobblehead I have.
And the Men in Black movie, they were the Shay was in that, I think, right?
I have a
Citi Field and Shay was in it.
Yeah,
the Men in Black 3, Citi Field and Shay.
Marvel I have a Star Wars bobblehead.
Oh, look, there you go.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, I remember that.
I have the Travis Darno one, and I actually have it signed too.
Oh, nice.
Did you guys ever see the video of me when I was actually was Star Wars Day and I won the signed Travis Darno print? Like there was a game where he was Pictionary, ended up drawing R2D2, and I'm standing there with R2D2 wearing a Rogue. I forgot which minor league team. I was wearing a minor league X-Wing fighter jersey.
Did you post a picture on Facebook? I don't know if I saw that.
I probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have no idea.
I have video of it too somewhere.
So what are you looking forward to most tomorrow?
Honestly, for it to be over.
Oh, please, come on.
No, I love doing it, but
you love doing it until you do it. Like, you love planning it. You hate doing it.
No, I love planning it. I love doing it. It's usually the couple of hours in between planning and actually doing that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And then the day of, like when we're in, in person and running around, and I'm doing 14,000 to 24,000 steps, and then I'm trying to say hi to everybody that was cool enough to come in and help out. Meanwhile, I'm putting out fires left and right, and people have no idea what's going on. Huh?
Do you have a Fitbit?
I had a Fitbit, and I have an Apple Watch. That's how I know all my steps. You can ask Joe. Like, you can't see me at times.
No,
I'm all over the place.
We barely spoke. I've done 2 or 3, 2 QBCs. I did 2, and we've probably talked for about 3 minutes of the whole thing.
And then the last QBC, I had to throw people out.
Yeah,
because they were being disrespectful, and all the different stuff I was doing. It was crazy. Just
the goon came out.
Yeah. Hey, what's your secret? I'm always the goon.
He is. That is true. He is always the goon.
I try being as nice as possible to people, but sometimes they just don't deserve it.
Yeah. I feel you. Sometimes they don't.
So mean to me, Keith.
Shut up, Joker.
What happened to us?
Hold on a second. Let me. So, Joe.
See you, Joker. Get lost.
You're back. Don't worry about it.
Is it safe?
It's safe.
As safe as it's gonna be.
Do you remember that? Do you remember the Clerks animated show?
Oh yeah.
Is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe?
Was a good show. It was well drawn. Also, I liked it. The sharp edges. It's a good show.
DeMeo, did you ever see it?
No.
Are you in the whole View Askew universe at all, or no?
No.
Yeah, the movies.
That I'm not.
I remember when Clerks first came out. I'm old.
Yeah, me too. Hey,
this young whippersnapper.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But
I think I'm older than you, probably, Keith. Right? I think
I'm gonna be 45 in April.
I'm gonna be 46 in June.
I'm gonna be 33 in March.
Hey, Mark Healy. Hey, look, it's your nemesis, Joe.
Yeah, Mark, suck it. Excited to see him tomorrow.
Hey, Healy, do you want to come on for a second?
Yeah,
I could send
you. You can take my spot. I'll go on mute.
No, you can stay on.
I'm gonna sit in the background. You know, my mug.
No, Joker, you have to have my back here.
I'm just gonna be right here. Get Salicata on too.
Yeah, get Sal's ass on. Get Sal's ass on here. That's how we'll really get to the bottom.
That's rude. Healy, I just sent you an invite. It's in your email. If you want to jump on. If not, it's fine. We'll just deal with you tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow might be enough.
I just pictured Mark doing the whole "How rude" from Full House.
How rude.
Well, it's great. We have a whole 2 people watching, but at least we got one. Yeah, we got one. We got one heart.
Let's tweet out or something. Advertise this.
Hey, there he is.
I like it.
What's up, boys?
Hey,
there he is.
We're gonna argue with that.
This has got to be quick because I'm hanging out with a bunch of my boys from Brooklyn.
Oh,
Nice.
Can't
We
hear
could be in a
anything.
lot of- It's all good. We just wanted to say hi to you.
Hey, those voices sound familiar.
Curfew for tonight, but
Make sure you're in good shape.
yeah, I can't hear a thing. I'll talk to you guys in the morning.
Later.
That was funny.
I love that kind of stuff.
Came in, he's like, I'm out. See ya.
A couple of voices in the background sounded familiar, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you guys read Mark's book, Gotham
No.
Baseball? Well, he talks how he tried to go to LA to be an actor.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of a great joke.
Right, I got it. Mark going to LA to be an actor.
Sometimes the jokes write themselves. We don't even think it.
That one was for you, DeMeo. That one was for you.
That's right. Goon's on my side.
No, but if you get a chance, read Gotham Baseball.
For sure.
It's good. Joey Paints did the illustrations, I think, off the top of my head. I read it when it first came out. I bought the hardcover, and I bought the soft cover, and I also bought the digital so I could read it. Mark has been great with the QBC for years. He's been there since the inception, and he's also gave a shout out to us in the book. And it's so crazy, you know. Me and Joker were talking about earlier, like about the QBC. It's crazy that like I've actually been mentioned in books now.
Yeah,
you know. That's
Forever.
When I was a kid. Yeah, I never thought when I was a kid I was going to be mentioned in a book.
Yeah, and if you did, it probably wouldn't be in a positive light. I said when you were a kid, you probably thought if you were in a book, it wouldn't be in the best light. But
yeah, I mean, it could have been a comic book.
Yeah,
that's probably not it.
Comic book, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a good read. I like the way Mark talks about how he grew up and everything too in the book, and
Yeah.
how all the different baseball players and what they mean to him, and it's just a really good book. I don't think it's gotten enough publicity. So
yeah,
So
no,
if
we
you guys-
could definitely push it because Mark's a good guy. I've known Mark. I actually wrote for Gotham Baseball like back in the day with Mark, like back in the day. I was probably 18-ish, maybe 19.
So like 2 weeks ago.
Thank you. Almost. Yeah, because I actually started blogging when I was 16. So more than half my life I have written about the Mets.
Well, that's like me. People didn't realize that I wrote a lot of stuff for Mets Police because I never had like a little byline.
Yeah, right.
And when my cousin tweeted it out, everybody thought like the good stuff was him. All that good stuff was me.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't. That's why I would figure.
And I'm not even saying that to be a wise ass either. All the good stuff was me. Like, because from my work schedule, I was up like all hours of the night, so I'd be catching stuff at 2:00 in the morning that people weren't catching. And I was going to the games while he was a hermit at home.
Yeah.
So I was able to catch like the stuff that they weren't at Citi Field. What was going on with like the security and the lack of Metsness and the giveaways and what the feeling of the crowd was. So a lot of that stuff was that. So he started making fun of me when I went back to my blog, The Media Goon.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, it's basically a Mets Police ripoff. I'm like, no, a lot of my DNA is in Mets Police. A lot of the stuff that happened was because of me. I went to Citi Field. I took the picture that got into the Wall Street Journal of the granite being messed up with the wrong information. So, it was like he also makes another joke that I know everybody.
That sounds about right.
I'm like, and it's not like I'm personable, but I don't go out looking to be personable. I don't go out of my way.
Yeah.
And it seems like over the years I've been able to make a lot of different connections where people for some reason like to talk to me. I have no idea why.
Me neither. And I'm one of them, and I'm not sure why. I just do. I don't know.
One division. One division.
I'm excited to watch that. I'm definitely excited.
It's really good. Did you read any comic books?
No. I've never read. I don't think I've read a comic book in my life, to be totally honest.
Oh man, you're hurting me.
The Star Wars comics are really good too right now, so you should get on that.
Yeah,
I was actually never into the Star Wars comic books. Ironically,
the old ones weren't good. The Dark Horse ones were good, but like ever since Marvel got the license back, they fill in a lot of stuff that the movies didn't fill in and the TV shows haven't filled in. So there's if it's in the comics, the TV shows, the books that are today, or the movies that are today, that's canon. Anything else before Disney bought it, it's not canon anymore, except for the movies.
That's what it gets confusing. Like, what's the canon and what's outside of that? And then they're like merging the worlds now.
Yes, and now Disney's just cherry picking what they want to use in the Marvel in the Star Wars universe.
And then Marvel's now rebooting to another whole universe too. So. The WandaVision, I think, is the multiverse. Yeah, it's going to change things around.
Yeah, it's going to be WandaVision, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange is what's going to be.
Is she going to
up some stuff?
It's in Doctor Strange 2, the next Doctor Strange.
I heard she is.
Yeah, this is going to line her up for that movie.
Exactly.
And are they actually having all the Spider-Mans in the next Spider-Man?
They haven't announced it, but it sounds like it.
That's the rumor, right? Yeah.
That would be cool.
I mean, they got Jamie Foxx in it. They got Alfred Molina in it.
Yeah.
So why would you have Electro and Doc Ock in it if you're not going to bring in Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield?
Exactly.
Who knows? Maybe you'll bring in Miles Morales too.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just cast it. That makes perfect sense.
Cast it and give him a TV show that builds into a big movie.
Yep. That's how you make some money.
Yep.
Because I thought that one was awesome. The Spider-Verse Miles Morales. I thought that was great.
That was great. Yeah.
Well, that's like the whole.
I played a little of the game on PS5 too, and It's really good.
In the PS5 game, do they talk about the whole multiverse stuff with it?
I haven't gotten far enough. The problem is I got the PS5 because I just lucked into getting one of the pre-orders on Amazon. I followed like some dude on Twitter who was just like tweet out, and I turn on notification. He'd be like, all right, PS5 live on Best Buy. I'd go on Best Buy site. I wouldn't get it. Live on GameStop. I go to GameStop site. Didn't get it. And then
but you got stocks.
I ended up getting it at Amazon. So it was like, and I'm never up late, but there was like there wasn't really a reason, but I was just up at like midnight-ish, and it was like 12:10. Notification came like up on Amazon, and I have Prime and everything. So all my payment address, all stuff's in. So I clicked the link, clicked add to cart, clicked complete purchase, went through, and I was like, whoa.
Went to eBay, put it on eBay, $1,500.
That bad. I should have, I guess, but that bad boy's in my living room, and I'm excited that I have it. But then I realized that I just don't really play it that much. But I'm just glad I have it, I guess. So I played a little bit of the Spider-Man, and then some sports stuff too. So I'm not a crazy big gamer, but that game's definitely good, and I have to at some point find time to like really go through it.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but what I was trying to get at was Miles Morales came from the Ultimate Marvel universe. So I think it was probably like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where they split up Marvel Prime versus Marvel, the Ultimate Marvel universe, where they rebooted all the characters.
Okay.
Where they made Peter Parker back into a teenager. They made Captain America. They gave his origin story again. Yep. Where he's a little bit of a dick. Yeah. The Avengers restarted and stuff. But the best comic was Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. And Peter Parker went through. Next thing you know, Peter Parker got killed off. And there was no Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Miles Morales saw what he was doing. They didn't realize that he also got bit by the same radioactive spider that Peter Parker did. And they ended up becoming the new Spider-Man.
And speaking of like Captain America, all that, are they recasting? Are they going to continue with Captain America as the Falcon? I don't know why I can't think of it.
So in the comics,
he got the shield, obviously.
Yeah. So in the comics, Captain America, when he gets killed in Civil War, Bucky becomes Captain America.
Okay.
And then it ends up going back to Cap when they bring him back to life, and then after Cap comes back to life, later on he gets the super soldier serum sucked out of him. He gets older, so then he gives the shield to Falcon. Falcon becomes Captain America.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, there's another character in Winter Soldier and Falcon, U.S. Agent. John, I can't remember his last name right now, but in the Captain America comic, probably about 25 years ago, Cap got pissed off at the U.S. Army, the U.S. government. He got rid of he gave back the shield, gave back the uniform. Then he became just Cap, and he had a black suit with red, white stripes going down the center of his chest and a black star. So then when Cap became Cap again, U.S. Agent took over that uniform. And you're going to see what that uniform kind of looks like in Winter Soldier and Captain and Falcon.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary that I know this stuff, huh?
You know a lot, man. You know a lot. But I'm excited to see kind of where all the movies and all the shows go, because now there's shows that you have to be on top of too with Disney Plus and everything. So
yeah, it's great, and especially all the stuff that they're announcing, like Miss Marvel. That's going to eventually tie into Young Avengers.
Yep.
Same thing with Hawkeye. There's the Jeremy Renner character, and then there's Haley Stenfield's character, Kate Bishop, where there's two Hawkeyes running around. So she's in the Young Avengers too. So it's good that they're planning for future story arcs and make it event.
They're thinking a long time ahead.
And then they could eventually recast Captain America. They can recast, Thor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll work. It'll all work out.
For sure.
He's back.
There he is. He was sick of hearing us.
Well, we're talking about Marvel, and he just wants to talk about Star Wars. You just want to talk about Mets and Marvel.
How'd you know I was back? You just turned me back on, and you just knew I was here.
Yeah, I can see everything. I actually have cameras in your house.
Oh, you have like the. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what that was. you told me to install that thing you mailed me and plug it into the Wi-Fi, and I was like, okay. I gave you some number, and that's what happened. Huh?
Yeah. Majo has one too.
You see everything? Majo sees everything too?
No, I see everything on Majo too.
All right. If Majo sees, forget it. He'll learn all my art secrets. What my favorite crayon is, and I don't want him to know that.
That's funny. Oh boy. But I'm excited. I'm excited for tomorrow. I think it's going to go well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Should be fun. I mean,
yeah. I'm excited to watch after I'm done.
Yeah, my whole thing is like when you guys are starting off first.
Yeah.
The good thing is, you know what? While we're talking, maybe I should throw up the schedule while I'm thinking about it.
Do it.
So the schedule tomorrow, Joe and Healy,
the other Healy.
Rubenson, and the other Healy, State of the Mets from 1 to 1:45. So, you guys are probably going to go long. Why did Dan put 15 minutes in between? I'm going to let you guys go long.
What are you going to do for 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to vamp for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I could always pull you in and talk to you for a few minutes too. So,
yeah,
have you and Healy stick around. I could pop in, just enjoy Jack with you guys. So then it's the Black Jersey discussion where I'm going to have John Salazar of the Marvel Movie Marathon podcast come in. He's pro Black Jersey. We got somebody that's coming in against him as pro Blue Jersey. So we'll see what happens with that. That's about 25 minutes. Then he gives me 5 minutes to set up for a baseball night in New York. Yep. So this is where it's going to be tricky is while I'm talking to John, I got to line up all the SNY guys.
So it's Doug, Andy, Jim, and Sal, right?
Yeah. And then so I'm going to have them in studio, like, how you guys come into the studio and just hang out there for a second in the green room.
Yep.
So I got to have them all lined up while I'm talking to John and the mystery guest. And then I got to make sure these guys are all set. Then I'm going to have to private chat them and let them know that when we're going to go on.
Yep.
And then we have, after that, I don't even have a second. I got to deal with Joker and Majo again.
We're not that bad.
But the saving grace is I got Mr. Moody Met Herm coming in. So,
Herm's the best. I'm looking forward to Herm. What a great guy. Talented artist.
I have a feeling that you guys aren't going to get a word in edgewise because I'm going to be just so enamored listening to Herm.
Joker's going to try talking. You know, Keith's just like, I was talking to Herm. Shut up.
See how he talks to me? You see how Keith talks to me?
Yeah.
I'll just mute his mic right now.
Yeah.
See, I just muted his mic. It's great. All right, Joe, you're back.
Can I talk now? Can I say something?
Your wife wishes she has one of these buttons.
Yeah, she just asked for that feature. Keith, she might be calling you later.
Can you hook this up for me? Sure, no problem. I'll put it on that thing that I sent Joe.
That camera thing.
That's great. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, and I'm excited to hear from McEwing too. That's cool.
Yeah, and we got Matt Cerrone to talk to McEwing, yep. So it's great. The Godfather of pods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Super Joe. So
it's a great lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's driving me crazy is like usually we have, we start like at 11. So we have 2 panels before this. Then we got the State of the Mets, and then, we're going to 7:00. And I'm like, all right, it's going to be a long day, but it's also not as long as the QBC usually is. So
right.
So it's not too bad. I'm happy.
Yeah.
We got a good crew.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a good crew, and we'll pump it up in the morning and everything, and get some people to watch, and I'm sure they'll come in and come out, but whatever. But
Yeah,
I'll have it on from once I'm done talking, I'll just keep it on and watch the rest as we go, because I'm interested in all of them, truly. So I'm excited for sure.
Awesome.
yeah, looking forward to it.
So what we should do is pick somebody for the.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So the way this page is set up,
an app to pick. How do you pick?
I was going to do that, but what I'm going to do with you guys, you guys can flip a coin. Whoever wants to actually do the picking, I'm just going to tell one of you guys to tell me to stop.
I just carry plastic. Can I flip a credit card that's like overdue payment?
I thought I had a coin around here, but I guess not.
You guys
Whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
Just flip the bobblehead. No.
Don't flip the bobblehead. There you go. That's a real coin.
It's a real coin.
Is that a Gotham like Two-Face coin?
Yeah.
No, it's no Harvey Dent.
Right.
So, Joe, call it.
Which one? Which Joe? That Joe.
How about I'm tails and Joker's heads?
Okay. And tails.
Tails never fails. Sucker.
All right. So I'm on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
So here's the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 10 rows of names per page. I have like 10 pages. So you don't have. I'm gonna have you stop on the page first, and then I'm gonna go up and down. You tell me to stop again. So tell me when to stop on the page.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you when to stop on the page, and I'll tell you when to stop on the person. All right.
Okay. Got it.
All right. So I'm gonna start moving the pages now.
And stop.
Okay. So now I'm going up and down on this page.
Stop.
Okay, so we got Jessica Preston.
Jessica Preston getting some authentic JSA certified Noah Syndergaard hair.
Yep.
Real
hair. Yep. Noah's hair.
Let's just check this out. Yep. I know Jessica.
Still gotta find out how did they get Noah's hair? You know? His agent like signed off on that?
It kind of looks like it's falling out anyway. Just went to the shower.
Well, he did get a haircut for the Vikings and Game of Thrones back then. He shaved the sides of his head, so maybe they got the trimmings and they stuck it on all the bobbleheads.
There you go. Or they just went into his shower after in the clubhouse after the game.
Yeah, could have done that, I guess.
But speaking of Noah, they feel really good about where he's at. So,
yeah, they even moved up the timetable, right?
Yeah, I think he's gunning to beat Memorial Day. That's where I think his goal is. Depends how aggressive the Mets feel like being, and really kind of how their people are pitching. I mean, ultimately, I still think they'll add another starter of some kind, and if everyone's pitching well, they'll give Noah an extra couple weeks to be extra sure. But yeah, no, he's raring to go. He's throwing off a mound. He's doing everything he's supposed to do.
He's he's laying in those ice bath buckets,
yes.
Ice cubes. I mean, I don't know what books he's reading. Is that going to help with the pitching, or what's
Probably
behind
not.
that?
Probably not. Yeah. I didn't even know he liked to read. But,
yeah, it's the book club. But the ice thing, every offseason he does something different.
Yeah, the ice thing is just
shock.
Just shock, and you. I'm trying to think of the word. No. I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
I don't even know what it's about. But
well, what they should be doing is putting them in bubble wrap every offseason.
I mean, yeah, he finds his way to get something, but he's down in Florida at Cressy's, which is the place the guy Eric Cressy that runs it is kind of like collaborating with the Yankees, and that's where Corey Kluber was working out, and Corey Kluber did his work out there, and that's kind of how the connection with the Yankees happened. And the Mets have a couple prospects there too with them. JT Ginn, who they drafted in the second round last year. He had Tommy John in March. And then another prospect, Jake Mangum, who I had on my podcast in November, maybe something like that. So a couple Mets prospects are down in Florida working out there too. So yeah, they're getting work in, and they feel good about where Noah's at. So that should be good.
Would you say Noah is the key to the rotation? You know, like obviously DeGrom, we got all the other guys in place, but Noah, if Noah could be Noah again, you know,
that's a game changer. I mean, if Noah comes back and is, you know, what everyone thinks he's going to be, then we're going to not worry about the fact that we don't have Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, no. I think Noah is higher ceiling than Bauer. Obviously, right?
No question. I mean, I shouldn't say no question. Trevor Bauer won a Cy Young, so he obviously still has super high upside. But Bauer's just, who knows, man? He could have turned a corner and be this frontline guy for the years ahead. I certainly don't discount that possibility, but it's also just as real a possibility that he is a high 3s, low 4s ERA guy, which is a fine pitcher. Like, that's not an insult. It's just, that's not an ace. That's not 40.
But you could hide him in LA more than you could hide him in New York. And in New York, we would eat him alive if he was doing that. Yeah. Like the press would go after him, and then he might be in the clubhouse. The other guys are saying, "Hey, this guy's making how much this year? Really?" You know, and then he might just, I've heard rumors, he not a good locker room guy necessarily, you know.
So ultimately, people seem to vouch for him as a teammate, but he rubs basically everyone else the wrong way, other than his teammates. I know the Mets reached out to Cookie, Carrasco, and Lindor before they even made an offer to Bauer as like one of the people, because they were teammates in Cleveland, and they both said he's a great teammate. So
Lindor Lindor gets along with them. Yeah,
they got along because Bauer, when he freaked out when he got taken out, he threw the ball over the center field fence.
Yeah.
Lindor like reamed him out, saying like, we can't have that shit here. And he reamed them out, and like from then on, like there was like a mutual respect kind of like built from that. But yeah, I mean, he's got off-field concerns. You know, there's the story of him harassing, you know, a couple women on Twitter.
Of course.
He's made some, let's call them problematic tweets. And, you know, ultimately, how much does all of that matter? I guess that's kind of up to each person to decide. But he rubs me kind of the wrong way as a guy. Yeah. And I hate to say it, but this is kind of the reality of professional sports, that like, if he was a Cy Young caliber pitcher every year, you might be more willing to overlook some of that stuff.
Of course.
You know? Yeah. I find in sports more so than just kind of like regular life. In sports, your morality can be changed based on the quality of the person. I mean, if a player stinks and he does something bad, you know, it's easier to. But
deep down, I would be shocked if he ended up with the Mets, because I thought I wouldn't mind him if he came here. I mean, he'd be an excellent addition to the rotation. Yeah. But the Twitter trolls that got to him, and then he just like blew up on them. Yeah. If you can't handle Twitter, New York media is gonna destroy you. And I didn't see him wanting to really come here, because he knew he had at least 50% of Mets fans not wanting him here. It seemed, you know, they were like totally against him. They were like, we're gonna watch every move you make, and we see like go to LA and he can't blend in. New York, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, and I think it would have been a tough fit. I think it had high potential to really combust. Yeah, and you know, I will say, like, I was hearing last night from people like he's signing with the Mets. Like,
we all heard.
Yeah, like I think there's people out there, and you know, you still will never really know, but you know, there's people out there that think like he used the Mets to drive up the price with the Dodgers, and it's possible. But I think he was prepared to sign with the Mets if the Dodgers didn't get close. and the Dodgers got close. I mean, depending on who you read, the Mets offer was either like 3 years, 105 or 3 years, 110, and he signed for 102. So a couple $1,000,000 in the scheme of things for someone like that. It's like if he wanted to be in LA, which is, he's from Southern California, so it makes sense. But I think he was prepared to sign with the Mets. It's just that when all that started to come, they basically said to the Dodgers, look, I'm signing with the Mets if you can't get close to this. And I think the Dodgers slept on it last night. That's why you had the hot rumors of the Mets last night, and then nothing happened. And then today started to come. And
was there a deadline for noon? Was that a rumor or?
Yeah, that was a rumor. People have shot down that thing, but I know the Mets wanted an answer. I don't know if they specifically ultimated him with a specific time, but I think they're probably like, look, we got to know if you want this. This is the deal we're giving you. Do you want it or no? And the Dodgers were willing to get close enough that he didn't have to move across the country. So it might end up being they might have dodged a bullet, and we'll see how it goes and see how the rest of the offseason goes, because still have things they have to get. And if they just sign like a crappy number 5 starter and a utility guy and a bullpen guy and then call it an off season, there's going to be people pissed off. And, I don't really I like to think I'm reasonable, and, I have vision of long-term. I don't think about right now all the time. So, you could talk me into that kind of stuff, but I'll understand people that get pissed off if they don't actually go get someone of, some pertinence the rest of the way.
Mike Trout. Get upset. They don't get him. Okay, we're upset.
well, my whole thing is I don't get. They made a huge trade.
I'll never understand why people don't count trades. I can't tell you how many people have tweeted me when I tweet. The Mets got Francisco Lindor, guys. They got first, second, third best shortstop in baseball, whatever, one of the top players in the game, and they go, well, that was a trade. I'm talking about free agency. What the hell is the difference? You acquire players. That's it.
They got him, and they got him and Carrasco for a steal.
Yeah. No,
steal.
Are Mets fans becoming Yankee fans? Are we getting spoiled now with the new ownership?
Really quick. Yeah. No, I've seen. I think it's quickly feels like Daddy won the Mega Millions for $1 billion, and I need a Bugatti in every color the next day. I feel like Met fans are quickly becoming the spoiled rich kid overnight. Yep.
Let's spend that money.
Oh no, but that's my favorite thing too. Well, Cohen has the money, but why are you spending his money?
Yeah.
It's his money. They're going to do the best thing for the long term for the team. Yeah. It's not, hey, let me put a Band-Aid on it right now. It's just what you want. You want a team that's going to sustain being a winner.
Yeah, you want them to sustain. You want them to maintain flexibility, so that way when situations arise, they can pounce. And if nothing else, I mean, if you want to take a positive out of this, the Mets were willing to pay a free agent today $40 million this year. Mm-hmm. He didn't take their money. That's the way it is. But they're willing to. So Cohen is not going to be afraid to spend when the situation arises.
We are players again.
Correct. That's what I've wanted all along. I want the Mets to be players when big players are available. I want them to be mentioned. I want them to be involved. And if you're involved enough, you're gonna get them here and there. And I still maintain I think they should have really gone for Springer, but they didn't. And they didn't. It didn't seem like they wanted Bauer. I feel like they just were like, screw it, let's give it a shot. It seems like he doesn't have a market. Let's see if we can get a deal that we're comfortable with. And they were comfortable giving him $105 million over 3 years with the opt-outs and everything. They were willing to play. They were right in what he wanted. It was just we were on the wrong coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, that's life. Life goes on.
Somebody tweeted today about Bauer. They're like, yeah, if Bauer came here, it would have been the same thing as if the Wilpons were owning the team. And I forgot what the context was. It was like, so Bauer is buying the Mets?
Yeah, he's the owner.
It's like just because you bring one player in doesn't change the whole the whole backbone of the team. You're going to have people hold him into checks and balances. So
but maybe Steve Cohen's kind of like happy deep down, blessing in disguise that Bauer signed with LA, and the PR hit he doesn't have to deal with, like I thought you're changing culture and all this. And I know he didn't do the same stuff, but some people look at it like Bauer did the same level of things as, Porter and those guys, but it's totally different, but still not good for PR.
Correct. Exactly. It's not good for PR. And you had the Mickey stuff come up, which obviously is not a Mets employee now, but it's still a dark mark.
It's been a rough 2 weeks. I mean, for Mets,
even though that's a Jeff Wilpon problem because Sandy left. So if we are to take the Athletic at its word with timelines on things, because obviously the Athletic's awesome. Like I love having a subscription to the Athletic. Such awesome content there. Seriously. Like I don't mind paying for good content. And
aren't they running a special now? I know people are complaining.
I think they run specials all the
time.
It's
like $1 a year, some new thing. You know?
For like new subscribers. But like I don't mind paying for like premium content. That doesn't bother me. And I think you do get premium content there. But if we are to believe their timeline, they're saying the Mets found out about an incident regarding Mickey August of 2018, I think, and maybe it was 2019, one of the two. No, it was 2018 because Mickey ended up being gone. So 2018, Sandy left the team in June of that year for cancer when he was sick. So he stepped away. And then that off season, when they were talking about will Mickey stay or Mickey go, and Mike Puma put up a tweet, Jeff Wilpon was his biggest backer in the organization. So
yeah, I saw that.
So Jeff, let's call it, probably buried whatever the incident was that they found out about in that August. And Jeff has a sketchy history. I mean, we know the Lee Castergine, however you said her name. Castergine. We all know that story. So I guess it doesn't stun me, but that feels like it was a Jeff thing. So, and Cohen at least made a statement. He didn't really have to, but he did. So it was short and sweet, just like this wouldn't happen under my leadership. I wouldn't allow this, essentially.
But they're still trying to pin it on Sandy. I mean, I hear like, some sports radio hosts are still trying to like say, hey, Sandy's a problem, what I've heard of Sandy's character, I don't think it would be him.
It's tough because like what is the expectation? I mean, the expectation now has to change. There's no question that the vetting process has to be way deeper than it's been. I mean, now this stuff is coming out, and I have to imagine there's going to be more that comes out. I doubt this is it, right? Like, I assume we're going to hear more about more stories like this, and they're going to have to vet more. But the reality was, at that time, and even recently, as a few months ago, the vetting process was kind of like a standard background check that you would do to make sure you didn't do any really bad stuff, and then you find, people throughout the league that you trust that know the guy or girl if you're going down that road. But obviously there's not nearly enough women in baseball. There's no question there. But, you're figuring out from people this character. And, when the Mets hired Jared Porter, like I talked to a couple people within the Mets, a couple of people not in the Mets, and, they raved about him character-wise.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, what are you going to do? Are they going to have to demand someone's cell phone? Like,
that's what's going to come to now. Yeah. They got to hand over the phone.
Yeah. And a lot of people, and I don't think I'd even be comfortable doing that. Even like, I have nothing wrong on my phone, but like, that's my personal stuff, man.
Just a lot of Star Wars and wrestling.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. It's tough. Like, there's that line of like, you have to have separate personal to some degree, but they have to figure out a better way of vetting. An idea that I heard, I think that makes a lot of sense is, finding a way to reach out kind of and like grant their anonymity and things like that and reach out to reporters in the region where the person's coming from. So if you're signing someone that's coming from Texas, you reach out to the people that cover the team in Texas and try to get a vibe, because reporters know a lot. They don't say a lot, but they know a lot. So maybe there's some way that they could loop reporters in. I don't know, but there's a lot of work to be done there for sure. And, the Mets just haven't been at the epicenter.
Who was the one that was fighting with Mickey? Which reporter was fighting with Mickey? Remember, it was like,
Tim Healy.
Right.
Healy,
So
I made a shirt for him. See you tomorrow. And now we know what was behind that. That's why they got in the fight.
And Jason Vargas wanted to fight him too. So
yeah,
Tim's my buddy. He's one of the good guys. So like when I remember it was Puma, I think was the first one that tweeted that like Jason Vargas told reporter Tim Healy was gonna knock him the F out. And I'm like, what? Tim? Like what could Tim have possibly done to make this guy this mad? And ultimately it was something really stupid. So I don't know. Mickey, and it's one of those things that we don't know these people until things come out after the fact. And
the thing is that you hear a lot of sports radio hosts and reporters talk about it. This is like well known about Mickey, but when do you say something, as a reporter, like cross that line? If everybody knew about it, what do you do? Like
it's really tough. I don't know how you could figure out a system, but ultimately, obviously, the reporters that this is happening to are, fearing for their jobs, fearing for repercussions, if anything, if they say something. And like, even if they confide in a person or two, like, is it, Joker, just like using us as an example, like if someone told one of us that, is it our responsibility?
Yeah.
Like morally, yes. But like, what if us saying something cost that person their job?
Yeah.
Like it's a real thin line.
Slippery slope. Yeah. Because you hear like the people on sports radio talking about, well, we kind of knew about this.
Yeah.
Why didn't anyone say anything? At the same time, they're saying that. I'm like, wait, but if you knew about it, why are you saying that someone else should have said something if you knew?
Right.
But they obviously, like you said, it wasn't their place, but then other people would say, oh, maybe you should have said something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tough spot.
Hopefully we can learn something from these couple situations that have come out, and maybe it's these reporters can have less fear of like their job security and things, and be more comfortable where like if I say something, I'm not gonna get taken off the beat, I'm not gonna get canned or put on special assignments or whatever. Like I hope that we can progress as a society where like this kind of stuff doesn't stand anymore. And if they say something, if they're comfortable, I mean, it's their place to say something if they want to, but like if they're comfortable saying something, then there should be no repercussions for their actions, and there should be repercussions to the person, regardless of who they are, coach, player, executive, whatever the case may be. There should be repercussions for their actions, because I mean, they're just trying to do their job. They're not.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, they're not trying to get hit on and all this stuff. Like, I mean, just crazy the stories that you hear of like people like they had to like rethink the clothes they wore. And, like
because they want to get the story. I mean, if they just like burn that bridge, say no way to Mickey, I'm not talking to you, don't talk to me like that, he's going to shut them down, and then they might get fired from their job because they don't get the story anymore. They're
correct.
And then if they go the other way, everybody else says, what are you doing? It's like a no-win situation. It's horrible. Yeah.
It's a terrible situation. It's been a terrible situation. And, baseball is like it's always been a old boys club. So like, I don't really know many of like people that actually did this kind of stuff, but it's one of those things that's like just well known that this is what happens. And hopefully it can start to change. And, unfortunately it takes a story or two going public and being big to potentially, spark some change. So I'm hopeful there's change, and, I feel terrible for everyone that, got this stuff, because that's, I don't know, it's uncalled for, man, to go after people like that, harass them, send, 60 whatever text messages, and, doing all these unprovoked pictures and stuff. Like it's not what they're there for. They're there to do their job. So you wouldn't send, a male reporter those pictures. It's just, so, I mean, whatever. It's a tough thing, but hopefully we can move in a better direction just as a society, and then in pro sports, obviously.
What was the Marlins GM ever option for the Mets GM?
Nah, not now.
No, back, when the interviewing process before Porter, wasn't she an option, or no? They never even interviewed her.
Nope. They didn't speak to her. They spoke to her in the process where they hired Brody, though.
Yeah.
Like she was like in the beginning stages, and was like one of the first like chopped off the block. Like they interviewed 6, 7 people, whatever, and then they trimmed it down to 4 or whatever it was, and then down to 2.
Because that would have solved a lot of issues. I think it would have been. I hear she's excellent. Like people rave about her. Yeah,
she's been around forever. Been the number 2 with the Dodgers, number 2 with the Yankees. So like she's had significant roles. So I mean, I'm glad she got the job.
Yeah,
certainly overdue, and hopefully she does some good stuff for the Marlins. Not too good, because
we don't want that.
But, hopefully she runs the organization well, and people can. And it's one of those things that now little girls can look and see. If they ever want to run a baseball team, they can. It's possible.
Well, I have 2 little girls, so that's why how I look at things is definitely.
Yeah.
I told my daughter already, she's 4 years old. If you want to go in sports, or any business, you can do it.
There's coaches now, and
you have referees, coaches. You have it's a Condoleezza Rice actually. She's supposedly they want her to run the NFL. Yeah, she's really into sports. They wanted her to be the Cleveland Browns GM a few years ago.
But hopefully we're progressing. That's all. Hopefully we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I can't get after Sandy. I mean, we're talking about, one of the most respected people in the history of the game. Not saying that really means anything. Like he could do bad stuff too, I guess. But like, I find it hard to believe that Sandy, with his character from the military and everything he's done, like, I find it hard to believe that he would knowingly hire or knowingly do anything like this. But maybe I'm too confident in the guy. I don't know.
Well, on that note, we've been at this for almost an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be on this.
We have the real thing tomorrow.
Yeah, we have the real thing tomorrow. I mean, this is fun because I like this because it's sports, but then it's also pop culture too, where we just, shoot the shit. So, I don't know how many other people actually like us when we shoot the shit versus talking sports, but I feel like this is a good mix.
People don't like me talking sports, and that's what I do. So it can't get worse.
Only if your name was Dave Maggio.
I miss Maggio tonight.
All right.
I gotta keep picking on him even when he's not here. All right, so tomorrow, go to the Queens Baseball Convention YouTube channel. It's gonna be on Periscope, so you'll find it on Twitter. It's gonna be on the Queens Baseball Convention Facebook page. It's also going to be on www.queensbaseballconvention.com. There's going to be a live stream where you can hit the YouTube. Please subscribe to YouTube. Turn on notifications. We also have a tip jar. We're doing this for free tomorrow. We're going to have a tip jar. You guys can give $1, $5, whatever. We've had some great donations already. You guys don't even have to give us anything. Whatever it is, I'll post the link again tomorrow during the comments for the tip jar. We're going to start at 1:00 with State of the Mets with Mark Healy, Tim B. Healy, this guy over here, Joe DeMeo, and we're actually going to have somebody cool and new to the QBC, Lori Rubinson. Then we're going to have the Black Jersey A&A panel. I'm moderating with the surprise guest and John Salazar of the Marvel Movie Podcast. Let me do a quick more. I'm running out of
New York.
Can you tell? Can you tell I'm running out of steam right now?
Yeah, I could tell you running out of steam when Joker and I were going back and forth about that stuff. You were sitting there like
wrap it up, wrap it up. We gotta go to commercial. We got sponsors. We got sponsors.
Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. My wife is saying, "Wrap it up already." Come, what are you doing down there? Talking to your pals.
So then after the Black Jersey discussion, we have Baseball Night in New York with Doug Williams, Sal Licata, Andy Martino, and Jim Duquette. After that, we got the Mets Artist Spotlight with Graphics Joker, Mr. Moody Matt Herm, and Dave Maggio. And then former Mets player, Super Joe McEwing at 4:00, and that should run to 4:50. That should be the whole day. You never know. We might have surprises. We might not have surprises. Who knows? But I just want to thank everybody that watched tonight. We've had as much as 10 eyes on us, whatever that means, versus 0 at some point. But then it turns around.
My mom, dad, family in Croatia. They probably all logged on. They found it. Yeah.
They found YouTube. It's not on TV anymore.
Yeah, it's not on TV anymore.
All right. So thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks, Joe, and thanks, Joe. I'm going to end the broadcast. You guys hang out for a second just so I could say goodbye to you off air.
Okay.
All right. See you guys tomorrow. Don't miss out.